Hi guys, it's Steffi from the Novelty Corner. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be sharing some controversial opinions because I'm talking about books that I found really disappointing in 2017. This is not a personal attack on authors, books, or readers, because if you loved these books, I'm so thrilled for you, but these are books that just really didn't do anything for me last year. And I think that's okay, because I think as readers we need to be able to talk about the books that we don't like, and I think we need to be able to do it in a mature way because we're all adults. Just because I don't like a book doesn't mean anyone else isn't allowed to either. By all means, love a book that I don't like and let's talk about it, because that's what we're here for. We're here to have book discussions. So please do not be offended, because I'm not offended by your choice to like these books at all in any way, shape or form. I'm going to start off with two books that I no longer own physical copies of. So the first one is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. If you're at all familiar with my channel, you guys know that I'm not a Cassandra Clare fan. I tried Lady Midnight because everyone seemed to say this, the series and her writing style gets better as the books go further. I had tried another book before. This one really did nothing for me. I just don't think her style and mine as a reader mesh very well at all. I won't be continuing with any of her other books because I have too many books that I want to read, and I don't really want to keep persisting with someone's writing style if I don't really enjoy it. And I know it's a beloved book on BookTube, and I am so happy for people who enjoy it. It's just not for me. The second one is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I read this as an ebook, and it was for the YA Rooms Book of the Month last year, and I'm sort of on the fence about this one. I didn't particularly enjoy it because I felt the fact that, well, you know the ending from the title. I mean, it's not a surprise. There's no spoilers, it's in the title. I felt that actually just had me as a reader sitting there reading the book going, okay, so how's it going to happen? Rather than becoming invested in the characters of the story and their relationship and how that grows and the tragedy of everything that happens, because I can see why people are deeply affected by it, but for me, it lost all emotional impact because you knew the ending. And it's one thing to know part of the ending, but knowing the entirety of the ending of the story, I think for me, that completely threw me out of the story, and I was constantly just waiting for something to happen, but not in that tense way where you're just waiting in anticipation. I was just, come on, get to the point already, and wasn't for me, unfortunately. Renegades by Marissa Meyer. This one fell a little bit flat. This one had so much potential. I mean, come on, superheroes and villains infiltrating superheroes. What's not to love about that? But it was just average, and that's really disappointing. I've got to learn to not go into things with high expectations. This was just too long. I think it could have been condensed a bit and made more concise, and also when I have to spend the whole time flipping back to the start of the book to remember which characters are which and which code names are which, and the fact that you're constantly changing between first names and code names and surnames and whatnot in the same scene, and I'm losing track of it, that's not a great thing as a reader. And I can appreciate how much time and effort and detail Marissa Meyer's put into building this world. You can see that there's this huge scope for it. She clearly knows this story inside and out, but I think for me personally, there were parts of it that I just didn't get, and that really made it a disappointing read. And into lots of controversial ones. Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I know that so many people love this, and I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, but I don't think it's as great as everyone else seems to think. I don't like Monty at all. I think he's a horrible character, and I don't think he has as much emotional growth as people seem to think he has. The saving graces in this book were Percy and Felicity, and I wish they had more time, or I wish they'd been the main character. So I'm definitely interested in a companion book to this series with Felicity. But yeah, I didn't find it all that funny either. It's one of those books. So unfortunately, didn't love this one as much as I thought I would. Warcross by Marie Lu. I enjoyed, again, this is another one that I enjoyed, but I was also really disappointed by. I think it could have been fleshed out so much more. And that's upon reflection. So I really, really enjoyed this when I read it. And this is a case of where you're allowed to change your mind and you're allowed to let things settle. And I also believe that you can give reasonably high star ratings to books and still be disappointed in them. And that's definitely where this book falls, because I enjoyed it for the entertainment factor that I had when I read it, and I wanted to keep reading. I wanted to know what was going to happen, but it could have been so much better as well. I think it could have been more well fleshed out. I think some of the relationships could have used a second looking over or a bit more feedback before it went to print. And there are aspects of the gaming that, were a little bit difficult to understand or were a little bit hard to comprehend. And not because Marie Lu wasn't able to describe them at all, but because the descriptions weren't in the book and you had to sort of fill in the gaps yourself. And if you're not a gamer, and I'm not a gamer, you sort of have to interpret what you think the author means. And for someone like me, that was really difficult to do. So I liked the book, but I also found it very disappointing. Wonder Woman Warbringer. This one I just found really disappointing overall. Yeah, I read it, but I found it really slow, hard going. I didn't like Diana in this particular book. I didn't like the side characters except for Alia's best friend, and it just felt really, really YA. And I think this is my problem because I do like comic books and I like the grown-up versions of comic book characters. I think this was just too young adult for me, unfortunately. I'm also really confused by this notion of taking a very well-known comic book character and having a story about them, but then also making it half about a new invented character as well in books. I don't get it, because Black Widow did that as well, and I liked that one more than I liked this, because at least the sections where you have the canon characters or the canon Marvel Cinematic Universe characters, they felt like the characters that I knew, whereas I didn't really feel that with Diana, and here she wasn't a character that I really recognized as being Wonder Woman. And yeah, I didn't like Alia all that much. And I'm also going to include Because You Love to Hate Me, the short story anthology edited by Marie. There were definitely stories in here that I liked. Victoria Schwab's one I absolutely adored, but overall I found this really disappointing. It didn't feel like a really good flow through the short stories. And while there was some of the booktuber essays and reflections that I really liked, most of them I skipped or skim read because I just wasn't interested. I don't know, this one was a bit of a letdown. So those were 5 of my disappointing reads from 2017. It's okay to not like books sometimes, because I think that informs us as readers of what our tastes are like, and we have to know those things because that's how we make good reading choices in the future, because reading should be enjoyable. As part of the Strike Backathon, I am doing a shout out to a smaller booktuber, and today it is Bookworm Christy. She is super fun, she's very energetic, she's got great personality. I absolutely love watching her videos. I will leave her channel link down below so you can check her out. So please stop on over and let her know that I said hello. Let me know in the comments what is one of your disappointing reads from 2017. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're having a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.